All right, today we have a deal in 35204. Again, I'm just filtering on properties that have been coming on the market, been on the market for less than 7 days. Today I saw a property that was 5 bedrooms. So this is great, right? If we're building out a property comparable sales list where we're keeping track of all the properties that are coming on the market so that we can be in the know of the most recent developments in these markets. And I haven't had anything come on in 35204, so this is going to be great, especially as a 5 bedroom. Because when you are looking for a BRRRR opportunity, which stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat, it's very critical that you get your ARV or your after repair value correct. Because in these situations, right, your ability to pull back out all the capital is essential, because that allows you to have higher velocity of your capital to rinse and reuse the same initial capital that you might have spent on this deal for the purpose of putting it into your next deal. So that allows you to scale a lot faster once you build up more and more equity, once you build up your portfolio, and once you build up your cash flow. Okay. Now, this property was listed today. So listed 10/16/24. Get the lot size here as well. 5227. It's a garage, no basement. And let's look at the neighborhood. And I always like you just take the nearest neighborhood just by zooming out a little bit. And this is in Seapo, Finley. Seapo, Finley. I'd like to put down some conditions of the home so that I'm aware of it. This is a decent home. I mean, it's not super modern, pretty average. Average home. Not super modern finishes, but looks clean, painted, and floor could use some refinishing help. So it's not like some of the really, really nice homes that we looked at recently, right? So at this point in time, what's going to be important is for you to realize, okay, well, now that I got a 5-bedroom home in here, I need to track what it actually sells for, right? Not just what is listed for, but what it sells for, because in the future, when I see another fixer-upper in the 1,500 square foot range, I can now figure out, okay, how much value, what can I buy the property at? How much value, how much rehab do I need to put into the home to make it look like this, to make it worth 145? And if it's worth 145 and I could go get a 80% LTV loan against 145, then my all-in costs for purchase and rehab, not including holding costs, times 0.8, will be $116,000, right? And just so you guys can see, $145,000. If you want to get back our capital using an 80% LTV loan, your all-in cost, purchase, rehab, and holding cost needs to be $116,000 or less. Okay, so that's why getting your ARV correct is so important, because now you know what would make it a perfect BRRRR, quote unquote. Okay. Now let's go ahead and just quickly analyze the deal. Right, 145 grand. Let's put in some rehab. We got $50 for the roof. Final for some landscaping. I want to refinish the floors on this property, so 1658. I want to repaint the entire home at 1658 square feet. That's probably enough. It looks like it's in decent condition. I'm not going to make the home look more modern than this, but it's about 25 grand, right? If I have 25 grand rehab with a 1450 rent, I'm just using rough estimates here, right? They said there's a tenant in here already. Okay, so you can always get and understand what's currently being rented out from the realtor. I mean, you can go to the $1,500 and then you kind of quickly see what your scenario is. I'll put in my property taxes right here from 147. My homeowner's insurance is going to equals to 112 times 1.2. I'm adding a 20% premium because I'm assuming that when I turn this property into an investment property, they're going to view it as a riskier asset and they're going to charge more rent on it. I mean, more premium on the insurance product. in row 32, I got 10% of my rent set aside for maintenance every single month and for those long-term capital expenditures that I know are coming my way, which includes roof replacement, water heater replacement, HVAC replacement, all that stuff, right? You don't want to overestimate your profitability because you underestimate your expenses. So be very, very careful here. All right, I got 10% for property management and I got 5% for vacancy. So if I am able to get a loan for 7% interest rate using a 20% down, right, using a debt service coverage ratio loan, the $3,600 closing cost, I would cash flow $72 a month. So this is assuming $1,500 in rent, a 5-bedroom, $1,500, cash flow $72 a month. That's a 1.5% return, assuming I bought this property for $145,000 with a $25,000 rehab. Okay. Now, what can I do to make this a deal, quote unquote? If I lower this to $100,000, watch what happens to my cash return. Goes up. But I'm still not able to get my 10% target return. So I might go down to $90,000, and now I'm close to my target of 10%. So $1,500. I'll be cash for $265 a month. That's a 9.6% return. Assuming I can buy this property for $90,000. Is that likely that you're gonna get it for $90,000? Probably not, but at least you know what's that return. Excuse me. We'll make this a deal. Okay. This is important. This is what you gotta learn, right? This is not investment advice. We're not soliciting any investments on this call, but you have to understand how do you actually analyze the deal to determine the set of terms or a price that would make this a deal, quote unquote. Because some people might just want a deal that breaks even cash flow wise, but if they're making 5% on their $1 million home every single year, who cares if they make $300 a month, right? They're making a lot more, but that's really risky. So that's why it's really important that you talk to your own investment professionals, you talk to your own financial advisors, you understand your own strategic goals for investing. Why do you want to pursue it? And ultimately, what's your execution risk, right? Execution risk is, hey, is this really worth your time, your energy to dedicate towards a project, manage your rehab? Because what if a contractor comes in here and lies to you and says, hey, I'm going to show up on Monday, but I didn't show up until Friday because of blah, 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 right? Excuses after excuses. Those are all real things that could probably happen. So do you have your things together, right? You got to put this in place to understand what you're doing. Okay, so that's it for today. You guys want to copy the spreadsheet? Go to affordablehousing.io, not .com.io. You want to copy the spreadsheet, put in your name, your email, your phone number. That's the fastest for you to get a copy of the spreadsheet. I have nothing to sell you. Please just copy my homework, put it in the reps, analyze these deals alongside with me, and that is what is going to be building your confidence so that you feel like you know what you're doing when the time comes. Okay. I hope you all have an amazing Wednesday. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 383. Have a good one, everybody.